in the realm of modern warriors. Few names resonate as strongly as that of Daniel Preston Hooker, better known as the Hangman.
There's that right knee for him. He'll be looking for... Oh!
From the grasslands of New Zealand to the fierce stage of the UFC, Hooker has built a legend that shines with bravery and skill.
That's it! The Hangman does it again!
This contemporary gladiator has faced the titans of the Octagon, showing a courage that defies human limits, with an impressive record and an ability to take down opponents with unstoppable force. Hooker has earned the respect and admiration of fans and adversaries alike. In every confrontation, Hooker not only fights for victory, but embodies the indomitable spirit of the true warrior. Dan Hooker is a New Zealand mixed martial artist who has left an indelible mark on the UFC. He began his mixed martial arts (MMA) career in March 2009. Before joining the UFC, Hooker amassed a record of 10 wins, 4 losses in bouts, mainly in his native country. He was also a professional kickboxer, winning the King in the Ring middleweight championship in the UFC with an impressive record of 24 victories, 11 of them by knockout and 7 by submission. Hooker has emerged victorious in most cases. Dan Hooker contra Ian Entwistle. In 2014, Hooker made his UFC debut against Ian Entwistle at UFC Fight Night 43. In front of him was Ian Entwistle, a fighter known for his submission skills. From the first ring of the bell, Hooker showed his aggression and technique. Entwistle attempted to take the fight to the ground quickly, seeking a submission with his trademark skill. But Hooker would not let up, staying calm and defending Entwistle's attempts with determination.
And he looks to die.
After several attempts by Entwistle to take the fight to the ground for a submission, Hooker managed to neutralize his movements and take advantage of a crucial opportunity.
Utilizing the jab in the back of the chin. Now they go to the ground.
In a decisive turn, Hooker took advantage of the position to unleash a series of precise and forceful elbows.
Leg and push Hooker away. He needs to take it.
These elbows landed cleanly and repeatedly, prompting the referee to stop the fight at 3 minutes and 34 seconds of the first round. It was an impressive finish and demonstrated Hooker's ability to capitalize on opportunities in difficult positions. This victory provided him with a major confidence boost and a positive start to his UFC career, helping him secure more fights and eventually face higher caliber opponents.
Legs things up here.
Oh.
It's been about elbows now. Hooker
These are
really
huge
trying to
right
go
here.
after it.
And it's all over! Oakland's own Daniel Hooker!
Dan Hooker versus Ross Pearson. At the UFC Fight Night 110 event, 2 talented fighters faced off in an epic battle that left an indelible mark. Dan Hooker faced the experienced and always brave Ross Pearson. What followed was a display of strategy, stamina, and a final blow that would become one of the most memorable moments of the night. The fight began with both fighters measuring the distance and throwing punches and kicks to establish their range.
Ross Pearson promised to be a different guy in this fight, and he changed everything.
Pearson was more aggressive at first, pressing forward and looking to connect with his boxing combinations.
Isn't he, Pearson? He is. Really nice head movement.
Hooker stayed at distance, using his height and reach to keep Pearson at bay with kicks and jabs.
This is really artistic striking from Hooker. I like the way that he's varying up the pace.
The action intensified in the second round, with both fighters exchanging powerful blows. In a decisive moment of the second round, Hooker delivered a devastating knee that landed cleanly on Pearson's face, immediately knocking him out. The referee stopped the fight, and Hooker was declared the winner by KO/TKO. Hooker's performance was impressive and earned him the Performance of the Night award.
Oh! That's it! Dan Hooker! Knockout victory!
Dan Hooker against Gilbert Burns. In the spectacular event of UFC 226, two of the most promising lightweight fighters would face each other, Dan Hooker and Gilbert Burns. Both fighters came with a streak of victories and were determined to leave their mark in the octagon, generating great expectations among fans of mixed martial arts. From the start of the round, Hooker demonstrated remarkable confidence and control. Both fighters exchanged some early blows, with Gilbert landing a spinning kick and a nice right hook.
Biggest fight week in the history. Oh, huge right hand.
But Hooker not only held on but quickly gained the upper hand. A few seconds later, Hooker landed a powerful right hand that staggered Burns. Burns, although dazed, tried to stay on his feet and throw return punches.
Fight week in the final few. Burns is down here. He took an inside kick.
However, Hooker kept up the pressure and used excellent footwork to evade Burns' attacks and position himself strategically. Midway through the first round, Hooker landed a precise counterpunch that dropped Burns. Hooker wasted no time and launched himself at Burns with a series of punches. The referee watched the situation closely and, seeing that Burns was not responding effectively to the attacks and was in danger of receiving unnecessary damage, intervened to stop the fight at 2:28 minutes of the first round. The victory was awarded to Dan Hooker by KO. With this victory, Hooker increasingly showed himself to be a dangerous and skilled fighter in the lightweight division.
I should say. There's that right knee that he'll be looking for.
Big knockdown for Hooker.
That's it. The Hangman does it again.
Sensational.
Dan Hooker versus Jim Miller. Dan Hooker and Jim Miller faced off in an exciting lightweight bout in the UFC. Fight Night 128. Expectations were high since both fighters came with impressive stories and careers. Hooker was looking to continue his rise in the division lightweight and establish himself as a legitimate contender for the title. Jim Miller, on the other hand, despite some recent losses, remained a constant threat and a fighter who could never be underestimated. Both fighters started with a lot of respect, throwing probing punches. Miller, known for his ability on the ground, he tried to close the distance, to take the fight to the clinch and eventually to the ground.
He's got to keep that distance. He's letting Trump him. Nice takedown.
However, Hooker showed excellent takedown defense, staying on his feet and using his reach to keep Miller at bay.
Into this fight, another impressive number for Jim Miller.
Hooker saw an opening and delivered a devastating knee strike as Miller tried to advance. Hooker's knee connected cleanly with Miller's jaw, knocking him unconscious instantly. The referee quickly intervened to stop the fight, declaring Dan Hooker the winner by KO. Hooker's knockout was impressive. His range control and his ability to defend takedown attempts were key in his victory, and he was considered one of the best of the year and improved his record, positioning him as a serious contender in the lightweight division.
Dan Hooker.
Big knee and Jim Miller is out. Dan Hooker across the world.
Beautiful.
Dan Hooker versus James Vick. Dan the Hangman Hooker and James the Texecutioner Vick prepared for a fight that promised explosive action. These two warriors faced off in the octagon, unleashing a battle that would remain in the memory of MMA fans. From the beginning, the tension could be cut with a knife as both fighters exchanged blows, carefully measuring their distance. However, it was Hooker who found his moment of glory.
And I like to see. Oh, nice 1-2.
With lightning speed, he launched a devastating left hook that connected directly into Vick's jaw. The sound of the impact echoed throughout the stadium as Vick fell to the ground. Not content with simply knocking his opponent down, Hooker pounced with a flurry of ground and pound punches, sealing his victory. The referee intervened, stopping the fight at 2:33 of the first round, proclaiming Dan Hooker the victor by KO. A single moment of Brilliance can change the course of a fight. With his impressive KO, he not only secured a resounding victory, but also left an indelible mark in the memories of fans and his own legacy.
Of course, big knockdown for Dan Hooker, big out! The Hangman back in a massive way tonight! Wow!
Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles. In the legendary Madison Square Garden Arena at UFC 281, the atmosphere is charged with energy and anticipation. Hooker, known for his striking prowess and relentless stamina, comes face-to-face with Claudio El Niño Puelles, a Peruvian prodigy. Submissions, each with their own history and hunger for victory. Two contrasting but equally lethal styles. Hooker showed his superiority in striking. Puelles, known for his ability on the ground, attempted to take the fight to his turf, looking for opportunities to trap Hooker in a submission.
Strikers, it's great look at that. Oh my goodness. And he's very good at keeping you on the end of his shots.
But Hooker, with impeccable defense and strategy, kept the fight on the feet where he felt most comfortable. The
can't get a takedown.
crucial moment came in the second round. With a look of determination, Hooker launched a body kick that landed with the force of thunder. He, incapacitated by pain, fell to the ground, and the referee quickly intervened to stop the fight. At 4:06 of the second round, the night in New York was marked by this epic confrontation, cementing Hooker as a name to watch in the Octagon.
It looks more like that.
Oh, there it is again. That might do it. That'll do it. Dan Hooker with a kick to the body by TKO.
Dan Hooker versus Paul Felder. Both fighters, known for their stamina and explosive skills, are ready to leave it all in the cage at UFC Fight Night 168 at the Spark Arena in Auckland, New Zealand. Felder, with his dragon heart and tireless spirit, seeks to impose his will with precise and devastating blows. Hooker, the hometown hero, feeds off the crowd's support and is determined to prove that he is one of the most dangerous contenders in the division. From the first bell, both fighters exchange blows with ferocious intensity. Felder and Hooker, each with their own unique style, display incredible stamina and impeccable technique.
Dan Hooker's range management is pick his aggression up now. Snaps back.
As the rounds progress, the fight becomes a titanic battle of strength and strategy, with neither man willing to budge. Round after round, Hooker uses his reach and precision to keep Felder at bay, while Felder responds with powerful combinations and unbreakable heart. Kicks and punches fill the air, and the crowd is on the edge of their seats, immersed in every second of the fight. At the end of the 5 rounds, both fighters are exhausted but proud of their performance. The final decision is in the hands of the judges, and after careful evaluation, Dan Hooker is declared the winner by split decision. Fans cheer loudly as Hooker celebrates his home win, cementing his status as one of the best. Dan Hooker contra Hatsu Hioki. In 2015, mixed martial arts fans gathered eager to witness a night full of action at UFC Fight Night 65. Being one of his first fights in the UFC, Hooker, the New Zealand warrior, faced Hatsu Hioki, the experienced Japanese fighter. From the first round, Hooker and Hioki showed their skills with dynamic exchanges and precise techniques. Hioki, with his vast experience, sought to take the fight to the ground. However, Hooker fought back, using his superior striking to thwart Hioki's attempts and stay on his feet. In the second round, the intensity of the fight reached its peak. Hooker, determined to leave an indelible mark, launched a devastating kick to the head of Hioki. Hioki fell to the ground. Hooker wasted no time and pounced on his opponent, landing a flurry of blows. At 4:13 of the second round, the referee intervened to stop the fight, declaring Dan Hooker the winner by KO. The crowd erupted in applause. It was a night that will go down in UFC history, as Dan Hooker showed he was destined for great things in the Octagon.
Oh! There's that head kick from Hooker! Hioki's face down! Daniel Hooker! Just like that!
And contra Hooker Jalin Turner at UFC 290. Held in Las Vegas, two of the most exciting fighters in the lightweight division faced each other. Dan Hooker, known as the Hangman, faced off against Jalin Turner, nicknamed the Tarantula. They offered a spectacle of courage, strength, and determination. From the first second, Turner started with unmatched explosiveness, landing precise blows that staggered Hooker.
He's in black. Ooh! Stinging combination there by Turner.
Hooker, with the experience of a seasoned warrior, endured and returned each blow with interest.
Spinning kick to the body by Turner, really picking his spots well early.
Both fighters demonstrated impeccable technique and indomitable heart. In the second round, Turner almost achieved victory with a devastating head kick, but Hooker recovered and turned the tide of the fight.
But it would have to come from him being in the clinch round.
The third round was a real spectacle of determination and resistance. Hooker continued to press, throw punches, and look for opportunities to land devastating combinations. Turner, clearly exhausted but not giving up, attempted a desperate takedown, but Hooker quickly got up and continued his relentless attack.
Hooker needs to push off with his feet.
Finally, Dan Hooker won by split decision. This fight was a reminder of the greatness of the warriors who step into the Octagon, where each blow is a testament to their dedication and sacrifice.
Good short. What an absolute world, Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker versus Mateuz Gamrot. On a night where every blow, every takedown, and every movement counted, these titans of the Octagon offered us a spectacle of skill, courage, and endurance. From the first bell, the atmosphere was charged with electricity, with the spectators on the edge of their seats, knowing that they were about to witness something truly legendary. Both fighters began cautiously, studying each other. Hooker showed his striking skills, keeping Gamrot at a distance with precise kicks and jabs.
Good range now with the strikes.
They all look fantastic. Win. I'll get up.
Gamrot, known for his excellent wrestling, tried to take the fight to the ground several times, scoring one or two takedowns, but Hooker defended himself well and managed to get up quickly.
Side range. There's a Gamrot 3 for 6. Got that head and arm. Looking to keep
To try to
The intensity increased in the second round. Gamrot managed to secure a couple more takedowns, taking advantage of his grappling skills, and kept Hooker on the ground for longer periods.
starts the escape process.
do better than you think. Head on the outsides in front, chokes her.
In the final round, both fighters were visibly exhausted, but they did not stop giving their all. Hooker, knowing he needed to do more to win, increased his aggressiveness in striking, landing several clean blows that pushed Gamrot back. After 3 intense rounds, the fight was decided by split decision in favor of Dan Hooker. It was a very close and exciting fight, with Hooker taking the victory thanks to his ability to adapt and overcome the challenges posed by Gamrot's fighting style. These fights prove that Hooker is not only a skilled fighter, but also one of the bravest. Throughout his career, he has accepted to face the best without hesitation, showing a determination and heart that few can match. In the Octagon, his fearlessness translates into a relentless willingness to push Forward, take risks and always seek victory, no matter how formidable the challenge. If you have been surprised by Dan Hooker's bravery, power, and precision, and would like to see more fights, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming stories and fights. See you in the next video.